I will never work a 9 to 5 again, or a 10 to 6, or an 11 to 7, or a 12 to 8, or any other crazy shifts, or report to a boss, or take commands, or have somebody having expectations over me. I have no interest. So let's talk about it. I did have a job when I was 16. I worked for Wendy's and McDonald's, and I did all the things. And there was one other little tiny moment where I had a job, and it reminded me how much I don't want a job. So my husband and I owned our own business, catering company, and let me just put it this way. When we got together, he was 10 years older than me. I was 21. He was the boss. Even though when I met him, he was sleeping on a youth bed in a buddy's house because he had gotten divorced, and everything he owned was in a cardboard box, and he did have a little business he had started, and everything was in a storage unit. We got together, and I just said, I know how to do I didn't know. I just instinctively knew to do some marketing, and the business took off. We became the #1 catering and entertainment company in all of Las Vegas, which we eventually sold. But during the entire first half of our marriage, the first 12, 13 years, he was the boss. I had to ask for allowance. I didn't get paid my own money. I didn't have my own paychecks. And as I grew up, which people do when they get married at 21 years old, as I grew up, I started noticing my own self-worth, which I didn't have a lot of before then. And I saw what my skills were. And I saw that when my husband would come in and say, hey, Lori, we need to make $40,000 this week, this month, whatever it was, and I would go out and get us enough business, bring in enough marketing business, he would go do the sales. To make that happen, I knew what my value was. Plus, now by this point, I'm hiring and training and running the entire front of the house, and I saw what I was doing. And I wanted more. And I'm not talking about, I don't even wear jewelry, and I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about fancy bags or brand name clothes or any of that. I wanted my own validity. I came to work, I'm doing these things, I should get my own paycheck and should never have to ask for allowance or things like that. So that was kind of the beginning of my itch, the yearning for better, for freedom. I'm going to keep saying the word freedom because my entire business is so freedom driven that's what was important to me. So I did earn that in. Eventually, we're both on payroll. Eventually, everything got really, really even between us. Now, eventually, we sold that company, and we were married 25 years before that ended. And really, we just grew in completely different directions. We wanted completely different things out of life. And there were some other things going on, but it didn't work. Okay, so after the divorce, I got nothing. There wasn't much at the time because of the way we lived our lives. It was kind of like, you take your car, you take your car, you take your business license, you take your business license, because we both had a real estate business after we sold the thing. And it was just kind of like, there wasn't much else to really build on. And so we both started kind of from zero. Now, I had a choice at that time. This was 8 years ago after our divorce. And I had a choice at that time. And I got to tell you, I was really scared because I had my 13-year-old daughter, and I had started this business, but there was only so much money coming in, and I was doing a lot of digital marketing, and it was so uncertain. This is the thing with working for yourself, is you never know when that paycheck is coming in. Now, I've built myself now a very reliable, predictable business, but it's never guaranteed. Of course, neither is your job. Your boss could walk in tomorrow and say, hey, we sold the company and they don't want to keep any of you guys. Or we're closing the doors, or we don't need you anymore, or we hired AI Jane over here to take your job. Get ready for that one, right? So nothing is really guaranteed. But you can build a business where it's predictable. But at the time, I didn't really know where mine was going. My real estate team had kind of dissolved because we split it up. There really wasn't a team left. So I was having to decide if I was going to go sell real estate, which I knew I wasn't going to do. And then I had started kind of teaching people how to build websites and this little digital marketing space. And I didn't know how I was going to go. And right away, somebody approached me and said, hey, We would love to talk to you. I had several people approach me about becoming what's called a team leader in the real estate world. And they did that because I'm definitely wired behaviorally for that type of a leadership role. I had a lot of experience in real estate. I could totally see why they would approach me for that. And so I entertained it for a minute. And I talked to some people. I even interviewed a couple times with somebody. And then the job offers started coming. And I just, it felt wrong. It felt so wrong in my gut. And I'm like, I don't want this. I don't want to be responsible. I don't want to have to answer to somebody. I don't want to have to justify what I'm doing or how I'm doing it or why I'm doing it. I'm used to just doing it the way I want to do it. And I have confidence in myself and I know what the outcome is. But as soon as somebody comes in with any kind of a corporate mindset or this is how we do things around here, you're going to have to fold into the way we do things, I would buck it. It's not how my personality, it's not how I work things. Plus, the idea of going to an office, when I've got so much freedom, I've lived my whole life of freedom and choices, even while I was married, even with my husband. Now, he had to agree to the choice, but it was still our choice overall. It wasn't a boss or somebody else. And so I said, Lori, I talked to myself. I said, Lori, you cannot take a job. You're going to be miserable. You're going to be so unhappy. You're going to do all the things they tell you want to do, and you're going to play nice by it, and then you're going to hate yourself, and you're going to hate your life. Don't do it. Don't do it. So I thought to myself, okay, if I don't take this job, I got to go all in on my digital marketing, burn the boats, as they say. I have to do it. I just have to do it. So even though I didn't know it would look like what it looks like today, which is wonderful, it has grown and grown and grown and grown and grown and grown. I was so scared. I still was confident in myself. And let me tell you, that is the one, I just had a big aha. That is the one thing that when I'm a coach, I have a group coaching program also called ballenblueprint.com where I teach people digital marketing methods. Generally speaking, when they don't succeed, there's two reasons. And it's not skill set. Skill set's not one of them. It's they don't have the discipline to show up consistently, or they don't have the confidence. And let me just tell you, sometimes confidence comes on the job. You walk in without confidence. You do the things again and again and again and again, Kat, until you build the confidence that is going to get you to the next level. People always say, oh my gosh, you're so confident, you're so confident. Well, yeah, I've had 30 years of working in this space, and confidence comes with age, and and why does confidence come with age? Because we did all the things, right? So sometimes you got to borrow the confidence of somebody else cheering you on, building you up, like, hey, you can do this, you can do this, you can do this. And then you will earn the confidence over time as you go. And so for me, I had the confidence with my own business. I just didn't know, what is it going to look like big picture? Is this going to still keep growing? Is my affiliate income going to keep growing? So what I did was this, and this is big advice right here. Listen to this. I found what was working, and I put all my attention right there. I'm going to say that again. I found what was working, and I put all of my attention right there. And I still do that today. If you were to build a YouTube channel and you were to post 2 videos per week, and that puts you at 8 videos per month, right? 3 months later, you've got 24 videos. 6 months, you've got 48 videos. You would have enough data to tell you what's working. And what you do is you double down right there. So for me, the number one thing I was doing back then is I was making YouTube videos. I've been making YouTube videos for a very long time. The other day I said 9 years, and that can't be right. That must be on a different channel because I've been doing YouTube for much longer than that. Anyway, well, actually that was 8 years ago. Yeah, anyway. So I looked at my what the money, most dependable money was coming in and what was working, and it was in my software affiliate business. So that is basically where I would show up on YouTube and I would teach people, specifically this was real estate agents at the time, how to build WordPress websites that are real estate websites that get you business. That was my focus. And what would happen is I would talk to people about the software that I used, and this still works today, by the way. And when they would sign up using a link in the description box, which always told them it was an affiliate link, which Federal Trade Commission requires, plus I wouldn't want anybody saying, oh, I didn't know you were making money off of me, then they would sign up and I would earn a percentage of that commission. And I had one particular relationship that at that time was making about $2,000 per month in affiliate marketing, and it was growing. And so I really put a lot of effort there. And today, that partnership is worth about $9,000 or $10,000 a month, depending on the month. And that's an incredible thing. And again, there's still no guarantee to this day. Anything could happen, but it's been there a long, long time. And it's something I'm incredibly grateful for. And so I saw that that was working, so I just started making more YouTube videos and more YouTube videos. And then my affiliate income was a pretty predictable 6-figure year. Now, living in Vegas, 6 figures is really good. And my cost of living was really, really low because I had a little tiny apartment where my 13-year-old and I were living. So making $100,000 per year and keeping those expenses low, I was able to pay off debt and some things that my husband and I accumulated together, married, that I wound up settling later, like IRS and things like that, and work towards the future. Now, at the same time, while I was doubling down on what was working, I also started dabbling in a few other things. And the dabbling in those other things is what led me to other spaces where I started making money in digital marketing, building courses and ebooks and things like that. And eventually I wound up finding TikTok and Amazon influencer and YouTube shopping, and that turned into another income stream, Pinterest, blogging, another income stream, and Facebook rewards program, Meta. You know, they're all cool. They're all cool things. But let me just tell you that when I walk around my house, when I look at my house, I get up in the morning, I make myself a cup of coffee, knowing that I don't have to go report to anybody, or I don't have to get dressed if I don't want to get dressed. In fact, my morning coffee, I actually get up in one set of pajamas and I change into a second set of pajamas. That is legit. That's my morning, because I'm a hot sleeper, so I sleep in tiny little shorts, and then I get up in the morning and I put on long pajamas and long sleeve because the house is cool, instead of putting on like a robe, and then I go work at my computer for an hour or 90 minutes with my coffee. But this morning, I woke up and I was kind of feeling like, I don't know what it is, but I'm just not super jazzed about working on anything this morning. I'm just coming back from an Alaska cruise a couple weeks ago, and I think I still have vacation brain just a little bit. And I said, you know what? Nobody's telling me I have to go to work right now. So instead, I still sat at my computer, but I opened my family tree and I worked on genealogy for a while. And then I got up and I still wasn't feeling it, and I took a bubble bath. And for an hour, I took a bubble bath. And then I had a hair appointment at 10:30. And I love that. I love that freedom, that I can follow the flow. I can follow the joy. I can follow momentum. There are periods of time. I go through these cycles, and I almost feel like there's another one coming because I can kind of see it on the horizon a little bit. I go through these cycles in my business where I cannot wait to wake up in the morning. I'm jumping up at 4:30 a.m. for no reason other than I cannot wait to go touch what it is that I'm building. And then I go through other times that are more like right now, where things are good, things are steady. There's nothing like new that I'm just super, I need to build, go. Everything is predictable, and it's steady, and it's flowing, and it's growing, and it's in a very good place. And that allows me less urgency. less chase, less hustle, because it's more relaxed now, which allows me to kind of come and go freely. I did on that Alaska cruise, I didn't work. I did some little travel videos for like a travel blog, which I don't even know if I'm really doing right now or not, but I took them and I got some short reels up and things like that. And when I got home, I checked my analytics on my YouTube channel, and there was a big dip for the week. And it did show me, I wanted to test it, like, would the evergreen content keep it steady, or is there really a freshness signal in there that when you push a new video out, your views and revenue, your ad revenue goes up? And sure enough, there absolutely is. You got to keep the content going. Now, I could have recorded a couple of videos before I left and had them ready to go. I just didn't. And you know what? That's the freedom of my business. I just didn't. I didn't care. I'm ready to go. I'm doing other things. Let's go. But I will tell you that in the beginning and well into the middle, you know, you will not have that freedom. You will have to show up. You will have to show up. And you'll have to show up continuously, and you'll have to do the work before you can earn the right into the freedom. At that point will be not having a boss, right? The freedom will be being able to go take a lunch with your spouse or pick your kids up from school. But it's not freedom that says I don't have to work. As a matter of fact, when you go to a job, you work 8 hours typically. When you work for yourself, you might work 12, you might work 14, you might work 16, right? That is the truth. And those are the things that I did. They're absolutely, I don't do them anymore though. I can't remember the last time I had even an 8-hour day anymore, because typically it's an hour in the morning on the computer, and then I'm doing fitness. I have fitness mornings, and I'm in the pool, and then I have lunch. Then I have another hour on the computer, second hour in the afternoon. So that's a couple hours, 2 to 3 hours on the computer. And then I'm usually making videos throughout the day, wherever it makes sense to do so. TikTok shop videos, for example, I've got my water jug out here. This came from TikTok shop. I might just go make a video about it and get that posted, real casual. And then there are some days where I say, okay, tomorrow will be a good hair and makeup day. Let me skip I'll go for a walk, but I'll skip the heavy gym today, because I'm in the gym sometimes a couple hours if I'm doing a little yoga and, you know, slow roll, if you will. And then I'll say, okay, tomorrow will be good, and I'll do my hair nice, and I'll curl my hair, and I'll batch videos, and I'll make a whole bunch of videos in my showroom for my influencer videos. Maybe I'll do a shopping haul or a Nordstrom haul or something like that and post it on YouTube. But other than that, it's real, just kind of an easy flow of the day. Now, if anything changed, I'd have to hustle again. That's the truth. If, you know, all of a sudden one of my 6-figure streams changed, it could affect me. I'd have to go make some changes. I'm still, you know, my cost of living has definitely gone considerably up than it did in that little, I keep saying 1,000 square foot apartment. It was 740 square feet, I think it was. I don't know why I make it 1,000. And now I've got a nice house and a pool, and my daughter's in college, and I'm helping support her. Well, she just graduated college. And so some of those things would have to change, but maybe not. Maybe not. I could also just say, you know, I won't take that extra cruise this year. But I just took my mom to Alaska. I took 4 vacations already this year. It's July. I have a couple more planned for the year. That's freedom. But more than anything, it's freedom of time, freedom to choose my time. Hear that again, freedom to choose my time, which means I still got to work, right? But God gave freedom to choose. No boss, no requirements, no expectations of me. Just me doing my own thing, loving all my kitty cats. Crazy little beast. Isn't he adorable? Anyway, there you go. That's why I won't work a 9 to 5 again. I'm Lori Ballen. If you want to learn more about what I do, check out ballenblueprint.com. Got a whole bunch of ebooks down there for you. You can learn with us as well. And let me know what else you want to learn. Talk to you soon.